If you want to produce a song or anything else in Cubase 12, then this is the right tutorial for you. My name is Thomas Foster, and in this video I will give you a quick and easy introduction to the Steinberg software Cubase 12. Good to have you here. Let's go! If you open Cubase 12 for the first time, then it should look like this. If you don't see this window, just go in the File menu to New Project. We have here many demo songs and tutorials, but the only thing that is interesting for us right now is Create Empty, and that's what we click right now. Cubase asked me now where to put all the files for the song we're doing, so I choose a folder that I called Cubase on my hard disk, and we say Open. This is Cubase 12. And I will show you now the most important button in the software. You know what it is? It's the play button right here. If you click on this button, you see that the button is green and the locator is already moving from left to right. To stop this again, just simply click the stop button. If you click it a second time, the cursor goes, or the locator goes to the beginning of your song. If you want to hear the metronome of your song, simply click here this button to activate the metronome. So we click on metronome. You also can do this with the letter C of your keyboard, and now we hear the metronome. So we hear one high note and two low notes. That's the 4 quarters that we have in a 4/4 bar. A much faster way to click on start and stop again, because you need this very often, right? You can press the space bar on your keyboard. The first time you click, it's play. The second time is stop. Play, stop, play, stop. Very easy and fast to remember. So at the moment we are listening to this metronome with 120 beats per minute. This is the tempo of our song. So what is a good tempo for a song? Well, it depends on what genre of music you are doing. If you're doing a ballad, or let's say a hip-hop song, for example, then maybe something like 90. You also can make a double click, or you can move it. Then maybe 90 is a good tempo. Let's listen to 90 BPM. This is a nice ballad, or also a hip-hop song could have 90 beats per minute. What means 90 beats per minute? So if I would start counting the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I do this exactly for 1 minute, then I would have at the end of this minute exactly, I would count 90 beats, because how the name says, like the name says, it's 90 beats per minute. So if you want to make a little faster pop track, maybe 110 is good. This would be also nice for some lounge music. If you want to make a dance track, then maybe you go to 125 beats per minute. House music is very often at 126. Yeah. Techno is a little bit more like, for example, many techno tracks are at 138. Yeah. And you can go up until, if you want to produce speed metal, 299 could be cool, right? But that's too fast for me right now. So let's go down to 120 beats per minute. This could be also a nice pop song. I think for now, this is a good tempo. Okay, now we need the first instrument that we load in a track. Then we can add some notes on this track that play the sounds of the instruments. Wow, this was a lot of information right now, okay? So how do we do this? You have to see this window here. If you don't see this, there are 3 buttons where you can open the zones. That's the name for this windows. So this is the right zone. Here we can open and close the left zone where we would see, for example, the inspector. And here where we see at the moment the editor, we can open this lower zone here. So at the moment we need the right zone, and here we find in media VST instruments. If you click on VST instruments, you should see here in drums the groove agent. If you don't see it, you have to close Cubase again and install the groove agent. But it's a part of Cubase, so you should be able to have this. So now we click on it and move it in here in our arrangement, in the timeline. And now we load the groove agent. That's an instrument that we see now. We can close this window here. Then we see here the track of the groove agent that is now. So we created the track and we loaded our first instrument, the groove agent, in this track. To see the groove agent again, we click here on Edit Instrument. Now here in this window, we see it again. At the moment, there is no sound loaded. To load a sound in an instrument, we always have here this menu. We also can use the arrow keys to load the next and next, so we can go through the sounds. But let's simply click here to open this window, and here on drum, percussion, drum set, we see some substyles, and the most of them are named like some genres, like house kit, classic rock, dub, EDM, funk. What kind of genre do you want to produce? Maybe we go now for progressive house, and here we load progressive house kit 1 with a simple click or with a double click. And now if we click these buttons here, we already hear the sounds. If you don't hear the sounds right now, so maybe you also didn't hear the metronome, you should go to Studio Setup, and here the first point here is Audio System, and here you can choose your audio card. If your audio card is chosen and you still don't hear it, maybe you have to put up some speakers, turn off the volume, give some headphones to your computer, I don't know. But now you should probably hear these sounds. And you also, if you have a keyboard connected, a MIDI keyboard, you are able to play keys to hear the sounds. So I press now the key C1 on my keyboard and I hear the bass drum, hear the snare drum on the D1 and the clap on the D sharp and so on. So now we could record something that we play on the keyboard. So I go to the beginning of the song like this, and now we place the cursor here in the beginning by clicking here on the first bar in this arrow here on the top, right? And to record something, I click record. That's it. And now I play something on my keyboard. And now I press the space key to stop again. We go to the beginning, click here to place the cursor in the beginning of what we played. And now I don't need the metronome. We hear how bad my timing was. So maybe that's not the best way. We could make the timing now better by using the quantize feature, but maybe you don't have a keyboard connected to your computer. I want to show you a different way to create notes here. So let's select this pattern here, this clip, and press the space key to erase it. We go to the beginning of our song, and now we want to create an empty pattern or an empty clip. For this, we choose another tool. We have here the tools. So the first is the object tool that we had until now. Now we go to the third tool, the draw. You also could make this with the short key 8. I do this right here. I click here on the pencil to choose the draw tool. And now I click one time here in this first field to create an empty clip over one bar. We go back to the normal object selection tool. And now we want just to work on this one bar, and we want to hear this in a or just this one bar, right? For this we could make a circle, so we don't always have to press play and play again to start from the beginning. We create a circle. To activate the circle, simply click here. And now the circle is active, but now we have to show the system where to make the circle. For this, we click here in the upper field where you have this pencil in this light gray area. And now I click here in the beginning and move it to the right. And now we have a circle over one bar, starting at bar 1 until bar 2. And now let's place the cursor in the beginning of our song and we listen to it, or we press play to see what is happening, and we see now just the first bar is playing in a circle. From where to where you play the circle, you also can use here this number boxes to choose the left locator and the right locator, and we see, yes, it's from bar 1 to bar 2 and it's playing in a circle from bar 1 to bar 2. So now we want to enter notes to create a beat. So we select this clip, this pattern here, and now we see this is selected, so it's dark blue, and we see it here in the editor. We have different editors, we can change them. Here where we have this arrow where it says editor, I click here. Now I see I have 3 editors, the key, the drum and the score editor. Let's go to the drum editor. Looks like this. You can scroll down and up to see all the sounds we have loaded in the Groove Agent, and we take care that we have the drumstick selected. So not the object tool, the drumstick, that's this little draw here, pencil thing here. And now we click here in the first field to make here a bass drum. We make a bass drum on 1, 2. To erase something again, we click again on it. We also can click, hold down the mouse and click a lot of times to create more points, or you click on a point and hold down and move your mouse to erase many points. And if we click maybe here, 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 and here, we already have created a 4 to the floor beat, right? Like you know it from the most dance tracks that you can hear in the club, house music, techno music. They all have for the bass drum 4 to the floor on 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I want you to stop the video and play around to create your own beat just by clicking and listening while you're clicking and see what is happening. And have a little fun, right? So, I hope everything worked fine. Whenever you want to erase the last step you did, so I created now, my last step was to create here this 3 notes. You can use here the edit function, in the edit menu, the undo function. Zack, undo, and now they are gone. There's also a short key, like in any program. You can use Command Z or Control Z to undo the last thing you did. Okay, now we want to erase everything. 2 ways to do this. You can use the key command or Control A to select all the notes and use the backspace key to erase them. Or you can simply erase this clip here by using here the erase tool and click here on this pattern. Now I take again the draw tool to create another clip, and we take sure that it's selected and that the drum editor is here, that we have here the drum editor selected. Okay, now I show you how to create a typical 4 to the floor beat like in any club track, house music, techno, whatever. We place the bass drum on 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the 4 quarters. So here on the 1, then 3/16 where we place no note, then again on the 1.2, 3 again, no note, 3 empty, then a note, 3 empty. So that's what we did. Now we have again this. We place the snare drum on 1.2 and 1.4. Let's listen to this. Okay, we do the same with the clap, 1.2 and 1.4. Yes, I like this. And now we want to create a hi-hat. So here we have on the F sharp the closed hi-hat. So one possibility would to place the hi-hat at every 8th note. This means on every 2nd 16th. So on the 1st 16th, not on the 2nd, on the 3rd, not on the next, here again, and here, 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 on every 2nd 16th. Now it should sound like this. Another possibility would to place it on every 16, so like this. I don't like the sound of the hi-hat so much, but it's okay for now. Other possibility to use in additional the open hi-hat. So we place the close hi-hat like the kick on 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and always in the 8th between, so 2/16, 16th later, the open hi-hat, like here and here and here. So 1 empty here, 1/4 empty here. Oh, that's nice. Maybe we also place some more 16ths like this one and this one. Now you see here something that we call the velocity. The velocity is basically how fast did you press this key. And most of the time the velocity is changing the volume. So we can do this by clicking this note and bring it down, let's say to 13, also here. So this note has not so much volume. You see it also changed the color. Now it's not so important, but it gives our beat a little bit more feeling. So if you were able to do everything we did right now, I say congratulations. You programmed right now your very first beat. In the next tutorial of this series, we create a completely song, a small arrangement with many instruments. That will be a lot of fun. So I created a playlist for you with all the tutorials in it. You find the link for this playlist in the description of this video or at the end of this video. So good to have you here. Thank you for watching. Always stay creative. Cheers!
We at Mugent have been working hard to create a new plugin that is more musical than anything else out there. We are thrilled to present the Mugent Player. Each instrument in the Mugent Player comes with a composition, MIDI files you just drag and drop into your session, so you can be inspired not only by a sound, but also by an exciting melody or characteristic chord progression. All of our instruments and MIDI files can be downloaded from the cloud. This means that every time you open the plugin, there might just be a new patch or a new MIDI file waiting for you. Simply double-click to load it into your plugin. In addition to the individual instruments, the Mugent Player also has kits. These are arrangements that sound like a complete song. With a single click, you can load all the patches, and as soon as you've dropped the MIDI files into your DAW, you can start using them to create something new. But the most incredible thing is, the basic version of Mugent Player is free. Click on the link in the video description to get the Mugent Player. In it, you will find a large selection of instruments, MIDI files, and kits that you can download for free and start using right away. Get the Mugent Player now and create music inspired by great sounds and compositions. Mugent, to make music.